This year's draft class is probably one of the best they've ever seen.
Big names.
Caitlin Clark.
Into Reese. Cameron Brink. Camilla Cardoso.
Rakia Jackson.
We've all had such an impact on the game.
Every time there was a moment, the players delivered.
Clark for the win. No bigger shot for Camilla Cardoso.
Are you not entertained? The women's game is in a great place.
I'm going to look back at this and be like, we were trailblazers for this game.
I mean, the excitement surrounding the WNBA draft tonight in Brooklyn is palpable. All eyes, of course, are going to be on Caitlin Clark after a historic season with the Iowa Hawkeyes, one which ultimately ended in heartbreak. With a defeat to Dawn Staley in South Carolina in the national championship game, Clark enters the draft as the overwhelming favorite to be selected first overall by the Indiana Fever. Shout to Napta. And look who's here. Oh, it's ladies' night. Well, I mean, you don't even need to put those two on the screen. We got it. How are we doing, guys?
How are we doing today?
Yeah.
Can't wait. High energy. I'm excited. You got to think about this opportunity for these young women to have the opportunity to get drafted, achieve their dreams, and then to be there for it. I can't wait.
I'm just talking about the opportunity to steal Stephen A. and Shannon seats for the day.
Yes, Chiney.
So much
Look at Chiney staying in the present moment.
Upgrading it.
Sorry.
Andraya, it's never looked
sorry.
better either.
Thank you. Thank you.
He knows. Stephen A. knows. He can't say anything.
Shanae, Andrea, I think you guys would have rather been in L.A. with Stephen A. and I, but hey,
Whoa.
we digress.
Just a thought.
I don't know
There's
about
no
that.
way. There's no
I don't
way.
know
It's
about
all
that.
right.
Nah.
Yeah.
And we're here with Molly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Way better.
We'll take elite
Way
company
better
over
yeah.
here.
Absolutely. Who would they rather get dinner with? This girl right here.
You know, I was just reading something. Caitlin Clark, obviously expected to be the #1 overall pick in the draft by the Indiana Fever. 36 of their 40 games are going to be nationally televised. That's riding the Caitlin Clark wave. What do you think? What do you think that's going to do for the WNBA, y'all?
That's the point you were making.
Well, listen, Stephen, you probably heard this. How many times all season were people like, get the Spurs off TV? Why are we watching the Spurs? You're watching the Spurs because of Wemby.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with Indiana. We don't even know how Caitlin's going to play. We all think she's going to be great. They're already scheduled to be on TV because people are going to tune in to watch Caitlin. It's going to help the numbers. It's going to help the ratings. It's going to benefit the league because think about it. People are tuning in either to cheer her on, anticipating her to be successful, or to see if she's going to struggle. Either way, people are tuning in, and that grows the game. Because think about this. When you're tuning in to watch Caitlin, you're going to notice whoever she's playing against.
And
you're going to notice whoever she's playing with. So it puts eyes on the league, and it puts eyes on everyone.
And speaking of which, I mean, I think a lot of people just assume you're a #1 pick. I know what this is like personally. You're a #1 pick. You tend to go to a team that is struggling, which the Indiana Fever prior was a team that was struggling, but right now they're different.
Yeah.
She's someone that we just watched led NCAA in assists. She is passing to Aaliyah Boston, who I think shot like 67% from the field, and it's just a straight bucket inside the paint. She's also surrounded by shooters and Kelsey Mitchell.
Yes.
This is not your old Fever team. Like, I'm getting back to the excitement. I mean, y'all, my welcome to the league moment was when Tamika Catchings of the Indiana Fever crossed me up. I touched earth. Thank God she missed the shot.
Do we have the
because
tape?
otherwise
We
it
need
would have been
tape.
all over SportsCenter. But when I think about this Fever team, they're going to be good. And on top of it, why not? I mean, this is the moment where viewership is all the way up, and there are going to be so many compelling stories. And I think the narrative around Caitlin Clark is how do like the vets react to the spotlight that she has brought to the game. We've heard Diana Taurasi's thoughts. We've heard a multitude of players' thoughts. And I think it just provides more intrigue.
Yeah.
Diana was not singling out Caitlin. That's how she approaches every single rookie in the WNBA. So to me, it's compelling stories, and why not?
But in some ways, real quick, guys, do you think it could be a humbling experience for her at all? Because college is a different deal than all pros and entering the W.
Yeah, I think it is going to be humbling, but in the best ways. You know, I was fortunate yesterday to actually speak with Caitlin. I spoke to all of the rookies yesterday, and I asked her, you know, we were doing some kind of like advance of the WNBA draft media training, and I asked her this question. I'm like, what's the one word that describes you as an athlete? And she said passionate. She didn't say like, oh, I can get buckets, I'm a good shooter, I'm a good passer. She said, I'm passionate. People understand that the passion she brings to the game is what is the ultimate draw overall to me.
And my thing is, I don't think she'll need humbling. Like, I think Caitlin knows exactly what she's getting into coming into the league.
I think by humbling, I meant she's such a superstar in college, but this is a different deal. It's another level. Is she going to be that kind of star at the WNBA? That's what I was actually asking.
Look, I think there's this expectation that Caitlin Clark will walk into the WNBA, and because people have been looking at the, I guess you can say, last 2 years vacuum of her being the greatest college player ever, which means she's the greatest women's basketball player ever.
Yeah.
The WNBA is the most competitive league in the world. Only 144 women get the opportunity to play in the WNBA. She's going to have a learning curve. But one thing that translates is IQ.
Yeah.
And also shooting. She's got both of that. So if you came in thinking, oh, she averaged 32, she's going to put the whole, put those numbers up in the W, that's not what happens to the best of the best.
Yep.
It's going to be a learning curve for her, but I do think she will be impactful. I wouldn't be surprised if she averages from 12 points to 17 points in the W in her first season.
And let the State Farm, let all the sponsors, line up and get on board, because now that revenue is going to increase and we're going to be the beneficiaries of that. But if we think she's going to come in and be Candace Parker, be the WNBA MVP in the rookie season, I don't see that happening. But I do think she'll have an impact. How great an impact, that remains to be seen. But because she can score and facilitate the basketball, I think she'll be just fine.
Stephen
No,
A?
I was giving the floor to the ladies, but I will say this. Here's what I'm interested in seeing, because I know she can play, and Shanae is absolutely right. IQ and shooting, they transfer to any level. There's no question about it in the sport of basketball. I'm not doubting that at all. What I'm interested in seeing is, I want to know what her impact on the WNBA is going to be in terms of elevating its popularity. We've been raving so much about the numbers, over 19 million viewers, for the national title game, over 14 million viewers for the semifinal, Final Four game. We had peaked at 16 million. We've been raving about that. I'm thinking, okay, I anticipate and expect this to transition to the WNBA, but we don't know.
No.
And I guess the question is going to be, what could best ensure that the level of success we witnessed in women's college basketball from a notoriety standpoint, what is the WNBA going to be able to do in that regard? It's going to be interesting to see, and I'm interested in knowing how the WNBA is not just going to capitalize off of Caitlin, but we all know rivalries work too.
Yeah.
And so who's that nemesis? This is why I love the fact that Diana Taurasi spoke the way that she spoke, which is how she always speaks. She's been speaking about that way about rookie for years. That's how she feels, okay? But I love that, because to me, that contributes to the elevation of popularity. And that's what I'm looking for from the WNBA, y'all.
For
If
sure,
I'm Caitlin
Stephen A.
Clark, I call out here like this, give me a DT. Yaga! Put that three up. Put that three up in the eye. Hey, give me a DT. You want this?
No, but Stephen A., that's a great point, but it's also not all on Caitlin Clark, right? It's stars help sell the sports, and there's a lot of other stars in this draft. That's why I think it's going to be a record-breaking night. One of them, obviously, Angel Reese. How do you think her game translates to the W?
Look, one thing I know as a post player that had to transition to the WNBA is rebounding. If we're going to talk about shooting and IQ for guards, it's rebounding for posts. And there was no better rebounder than Angel Reese at LSU. I think they were #1 in offensive rebounding rate. This is a woman who's, I believe, set a record for most double-doubles in D1 with 34. And so I think she will translate, because all else fails, she knows how to get the ball, she knows how to put it in. But more so, like, even having the opportunity to talk to Caitlin and to talk to Angel Reese, you're right, Molly. It's not just on Caitlin. This is a truly special class from top to bottom. And being able to talk to Angel, she just is herself. And I know Stephen A. was wondering, like, how is this going to translate? If they remain being themselves as they enter the W, the followership, the viewership will follow. Angel's a star. And she's also gone through circumstances, to me, in which she was tested, she dealt with adversity both on and off the court, and she has succeeded. People talk about what she said after the game. Did we watch what she did during the game? 17 points, 20 rebounds, unfortunately, in the loss. So to me, rebounding, what, Stephen A?
We do have to be fair here. She started out strong, went like 1 for 13 the rest of the game. Okay, and I'm just saying, all right? And then
tweaked ankle.
I understand. I know that I was going to bring that up. Listen, I'm a fan of Angel Reese. I'm just concerned because when we talk about Caitlin, we know she can shoot. So that's the ultimate fact. You know, she could pull up from the logo. With Angel Reese, all right, I'm looking at your health. I'm looking at her legs. I'm looking at the spring in her step. She going to need that on the next level now. I mean, I was at the championship game with the WNBA. I saw the aces. Asia Wilson, one of my favorite people, because when Michael Wilbon and the NBA conspired to bring ringers on their squad for NBA All-Star Weekend, like you did, I mean, Asia Wilson. Yes, I am. Asia Wilson is that girl. Did you see her play?
Yeah.
She's the face of the WNBA.
I'm just saying to you that she's big time. She's big time. That's who Angel Reese is going to have to go up against. So remember, what we're saying about Caitlin, again, the IQ, and Angel Reese definitely has the IQ, but the IQ is one thing. The shooting ability is another. That is not Angel Reese's game. And there's some sisters waiting in the WNBA that's going to have something to say about her success too now.
But I watched her work with her trainers, and she's trying to expand her game.
Okay.
If you look at Asia Wilson, she didn't have the three-point game. She didn't have the mid-range game that she has in the WNBA. She didn't have that in college. You look at Lisa Leslie, mainly a post player. They expanded, and that's what you're going to have to do. You just can't be just a low post player. You're going to have to expand, and you see she's working on that three-point shot. And I know people like, well, ain't nobody in front of her. Look, there are going to be times that she's going to have a wide-open three, and she's going to have to be able to knock that down. But I like what she's doing. She's working on things that she's weak at. Yes, she can rebound, but as long as she can expand her game, she does hit it from 10. She can go out to 15. She can go out to the three-point line. She'll be this just fine.
I'm glad you got that footage. I never saw that.
Like Shanae said, rebound. How many three-pointers did Dennis Rodman hit?
Well,
he got on the glass, didn't he? Okay, get on the glass.
All right, get on the glass. All right,
Listen,
all right.
my thing is, we have seen undersized, unorthodox players. Shanae, I know who you're going to think of, Alyssa Thomas. We have seen undersized, unorthodox players be effective in the league. Alyssa Thomas averaged last season 16 points. I think it was 10 rebounds, 8 assists, right? I'm not saying Angel's going to do that, but in Alyssa Thomas's first year, 10 points, 5 rebounds. She outworked people. She was scrappy. That's all Angel Reese has to do to start. The relentlessness, the passion, the rebounding, and the energy and the motor, that gets Angel in the league.